the summertime, I mixed my razzle-dazzle with just a couple sprinkles of Brilliant Berry just to warm it up a little bit, and use that as a little bit of a bronzer too. But I usually just do razzle-dazzle myself.
The nice thing about the eyes is using it wet or dry, you can create, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just putting that right. You can create a completely different look using the eyeshadows dry versus wet. It's going to be much more dramatic. She likes the desert sand. I like the desert sand. It's probably one of my favorite. I think it's probably one of the most versatile when you're doing makeovers. Is that hair poking in there? And if you don't know what to start with and they don't know what they want to do, the desert sand is a pretty...
It's a bestseller.
Yeah, and it's pretty. It looks good on most everybody. And if they don't like it, the pink for a base or the white is really pretty. The gold. Just like it all. So what you want to do if you're going to use it wet is you want to dip your brush, and then you're going to want to dab it off on the paper towel. This to me is really a feel. You kind of got to get a feel. You dip it in the eyeshadow, and you swirl it in the lid. That's what I do. But we can use a plate for this. But you would have, if I was at home, I put it in the lid, I dip it in water, and I do this. Because that's what I do at home. If I'm at a party and I'm trying not to, you know, this product gets used a lot. I don't want to keep using the lid, so I'll put it on a plate. Probably don't need quite that much. I'm right-handed, so I'm trying to figure out the best place to be. And dip it in the water, dab it in the powder, and you can kind of swirl and get a feel. Like you can tell it's wet. If it's too wet, you're going to see some little puddles. And when you put it on, you're not going to see much color if it's too wet. But the nice thing about this is you can kind of and actually it's probably a little dry, but it's so we're going to do her face with it. Yeah, and this is what I was really intimidated with the makeup when I first started, and it was mostly the eye thing. I mean, because everybody's eyes, that's their personality almost, and they know how they like it. So I had to just learn to do it a lot on everybody I could possibly do it on. So I would just ask my friends, let me just do your makeup, because the more I did, the more comfortable I felt. And I learned what looked good on people, and they might make some adjustments. Like when you go get your hair done, you go home and you kind of redo it. It doesn't have to be exactly what they want. They still get a feel of what it's going to look like.
Shelley, you're absolutely right. Makeup is, you need to have it, get into it, play with it, you know, because you can mix those colors like what they were talking with the cheeks, and it's fun, and it's also a good way to get a booking. You know, have somebody say, well, I need help and I need practice, just as Shelley said. And I did that with a mother just to show them, and it ended up over $2 in a mother. It was over $300. And we played. It was fun.
And that's exactly what I did. I asked my friend if she'd let me do it on her. 2 days before, she asked if she could bring a friend. They both ordered, well, it totaled almost $300 for just the two.
Yeah.
They both ordered to make my minerals, and then while they were there, they had to get a lotion bar. And so it is great. They say that every color you put up above your eye, you should put under your eye. Some people do, and some people don't. I like to, when I used to use the desert sand all the time. Now I've kind of been into the pink, and so I'll do pink above and under. You don't really notice it, but it just makes your eyes stand out. It just, especially the white sand or the petal pink just on the inner corners.
That's what I'm wearing right now.
Very cute.
Adorable.
And I didn't know how
Petal
much
pink and
time.
white sand.
I do the petal pink and white sand almost every day.
And then the deep blue.
No, I'm wearing the silver shimmer and the emerald. So I do my liner in the silver shimmer. I fell in love with it after it came out, and then I go back with a little bit of emerald to deepen it a little bit.
I did want to ask real quick, do you still carry the lip brush? Because I can't find it. Okay.
I have them, but they're just not available.
Okay, well, I just didn't have the right brush for today. There is an actual liner brush that you would use for this.
The angle brush?
Yeah, the angle brush. It's really great for lining.
That's why I use. I can't live without it anymore. I don't care that I don't have a pencil. I love the liner brush.
Yeah,
I get it wet.
it's just another one of those things. This lip liner brush I don't think is available anyway, but I got started using it, and to me, I loved to line with it because it was small. It would go right where I wanted it to go. And but the angle brush is perfect for that, and I have started using that at home. I just didn't have them available. So we know that she likes the chestnut brown, and so it's going to go under her.
Did you wet that first?
I didn't. With the darker colors under the eye, it's really a personal preference. I usually don't because it can really make them bold. If I put it on and they say, I'd like it a little darker, I can always darken it and go over it. But it's harder to undo it, especially under the eye.
It's just so much softer on the skin than a silly pencil. I hated the pencils. Could
Well,
never get one
and
that didn't hurt.
You know, one more tip. Some of you are more makeup, some of you are less. The nice part is you need to be able to help somebody do more or less. Because when I first started doing this, I tried to make everybody look like me. They didn't appreciate it, but you know, that was my first practice. But you know, so if you don't wear a lot of makeup, you can just say, you know what, I've done 50 different faces, I can help you. Let's look here, there's 4 different looks, and which look would be best for you, and I can help you with that. My personal preference is I'm a neutral, but I can do a dramatic eye for you if you like. And that just comes from practice, because I'm sure you have lots of different friends that look lots of different ways, and they wear lots of different types of makeup. What you want to do, what we do every day in every way is help people. And so helping people, you just help them get to what their goal is and what their end use is for their look.
And I think that's key because we want to be duplicatable, and we don't want our consultants to feel like, well, I can't do that. It intimidates me to do people's eyes, but I do know by asking it does become more comfortable, and then it is personal. So if they want to do like the smoky eye or whatever, I may not always do that on them, but they're welcome to do it on themselves. And I think that you don't have to be so hard on yourself and feel like, okay, I've got to get this dramatic look. It's just the basics. Stick with the basics and let them get a dramatic look later. So, and so today really I didn't know on the time frame how, especially with the eyes. So basically just wanted to touch on the lining on the outside, and then I'll highlight towards the eye.
Caitlin, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to know, I've seen you do like 3 layers, it looks like, on the eyeshadow. Do you always do around 3 layers?
No, I just do whatever till it seems like it looks
right.
like they're right. Yeah, if it's
I've
really
never done
light.
layers, I've always just put on 1 layer and then.
Oh no, I layer.
Yeah,
And sometimes I
I layer
put
it.
on everything and let it dry, and then do my mascara. I'm like, oh, I could use a little here.
And you know the cool thing is you can put it on and you can layer it, and if you go, oh my gosh, that looks terrible, you just get the brush wet and go back over it, and it
Erase
sort of
over.
takes it all off, and you can start over. Because that's what I did yesterday, like 4 times. So I think that's the other thing is don't be afraid so much, because many parties I've gone to, we've done one eye, and she goes, I don't really like those colors, I want to try a different one. All we had to do was get the brush wet, take it off like that. It may not even go all the way off, but it was fine. The colors blend well. Then we went over it with a different color. And I myself have learned beautiful color combinations from people wanting to try different things that I wouldn't have used before. So it's really a great way to learn yourself.